Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the third virtual Power BI Days. I see there's already quite a few attendees that joined up. That's beautiful. It's early in the morning on Sunday in Belgium. I think it's Monday already in Australia, right? Or it's
No,
evening?
it's Sunday evening. Yeah.
Sunday evening. So almost
Yes.
Monday in Australia. Well, New Zealand. Sorry, New Zealand. Um, two different countries. I keep forgetting that. Um, Yeah, well, thank you all for joining up. Indira Bandari is here for the third time. Very awesome. Love it. Love everything that she's doing. So I hope you have a good time. Indira, it's all up to you now.
Okay. Thanks, Jan. Okay. So today my session will be on sentiment analysis using cognitive services in Power BI. Before I start off, I want to introduce you to the Slack channel. If you type http://ms/SQL Slack, you can join the SQL Slack channel where you can get help on SQL and Power BI. I just want to say a few sentences about myself. Um, I have a master's degree in statistics, and I have been a BI consultant over 15 years now, working with SQL Server, developing data warehouses and analytical solutions. I have been a co-organizer for New Zealand Power BI user group and SQL Saturday workshops, and also a co-organizer for Auckland Artificial Intelligence Meetup. I have been speaking at the local user groups and various webinars and SQL Saturdays. And I have a passion of sharing my knowledge. And every year I teach something technology for kids. And from last year, I have started Why Not databases and Power BI, and I have run a 12 weeks course for 11 to 15-year-old kids, and they have done an amazing job in the competition that I have conducted. Planning to do one this year as well. So that's, and you have these contact details if you want to get in touch with me. This is my Twitter, and my email is indupriya9@yahoo.com. So with that, we'll look at the agenda today. I want to share what sentiment analysis is, first of all, and how it works. And then I want to share a bit about Microsoft Cognitive Services, because we are going to use that Microsoft Cognitive Services to do the sentiment analysis for us. So I'll be demoing very short demo of what Microsoft Cognitive Services are. And we will be using the text analytics API of Microsoft Cognitive Services. So I will be taking you through what it contains, and also the actual demo of Facebook sentiment analysis. So that's our agenda. So what is sentiment analysis? I'm sure you all would have heard about the term machine learning. Actually, machine learning is divided into three subcategories. We have supervised learning, we have reinforced learning, and then you have the unsupervised learning. Sentiment analysis is actually a part of supervised learning. So what exactly is supervised learning? As the term suggests, we supervise the program or product that you are developing. So by supervising, the meaning, we have a training data set. So we train the program that we are developing with already existing outputs, so that it recognizes, if we send any test data, it recognizes what to identify it as. So for example, if we are trying to build a fruit classification program, we upload a set of apples and then categorize them as apples. And we upload a set of lemon, let's say, and then we categorize them as lemon. We upload a set of oranges and we upload a set of bananas and tag them as oranges and bananas. So this is our training data set. So once the program is trained with this training data set, we pass a test data set. So the test data set may contain bananas or oranges or apples or a combination of these. So once if we pass a banana to the program, if the result gets us an apple, then our program is not trained properly. So we need to ensure that the training is done properly, so that if we pass a banana, it returns as a returns that the past test. When we test the program, the result will be banana. That's when we can make a accurate classification program. So this is because we are in supervised learning, we are using a training data set to train the program. That's why sentiment analysis is also something sort of a supervised learning, because we use a training data set. So what is sentiment analysis? Sentiment analysis is a process of computationally identifying and categorizing opinions from a piece of text and determine whether the writer's attitude is positive, negative, or neutral towards a particular topic. So it's a form of text analysis that measures how positive or negative the text written is. So here you see some emojis. I have collected these emojis from Facebook. I think you must have known by now. So what it says is you can like the post, or love the post, or feel sad about it, or a bit angry about it, or show a surprise, or laugh. LOL, you say LOL, right? Laughing out loud. So these are the emojis that is provided by Facebook. What Facebook is doing is it made a smart move.
Indira, the sound cut off.
By giving us these emojis, so that we can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's back.
Okay. So let me go up a bit. Okay, so I'll come back again. So Facebook has made a smart move for us as the users, because we are giving the sentiment analysis for the Facebook by liking, or by doing a click on the love, or doing a sad face liking, or sad face on the click, or we are choosing the emojis, so that we are helping Facebook to do the sentiment analysis. So let's see how it works. So we have something like a positive words and negative words. This is a database of positive words and negative words, and you have a sample sentence. So this sample sentence will be broken down into simple words, and then you get those words will be compared against the positive words and negative words, and then it is scored as a positive sentence, or a neutral sentence, or a negative sentence. So neutral is nothing but if the words are not there in either positive or negative, they are scored as neutral. So they are given the scores like positive sentence is +1, neutral is 0, and negative sentence is -1. So for example, let's see, this is a very nice article, is a comment on a Facebook post. So that sentence is broken down by, this is a very nice article. So those are the words that are broken down. And this is our good, the green ones are good, are positive words, and the yellow ones are not negative words. So these will be compared, and then the score is given for each of the words. So this, because it doesn't find in those in the database of words, so it gives a 0. Similarly, is a very, but it finds a nice in the positive one, so it gives a positive +1. And article also it gives negative, because it is not there in the phrases, in the positive and negative words that we provided. So what happens is, when you look at the overall score, it gives +1 because it's a because it found +1 as a nice. Nice is the word in the positive words. So the +1 score is a positive sentence. So if you look at another example, this is another comment provided on a Facebook post. This post does not contain facts. So what it does is it again breaks down into the words and then compares it with the positive and negative words and then scores it individually for words, and then it found now not as the negative word, so it scored as -1, and so the overall score for this sentence is -1. So I hope you get the gist of how the sentiment is calculated for each of the sentence. So now let's look at as per the agenda, let's look at the Microsoft Cognitive Services. You can go into Microsoft Cognitive Services by just typing microsoft.com and /cognitive services. And there are 5 categories available. You have the vision category, where you can see face recognition programs, video indexing, custom vision algorithms, image processing algorithms that identify caption and identify faces, and also index your videos. And the next one comes the knowledge. Under the knowledge category, you find complex information and data being used, and then you can get intelligent recommendations and semantic search out of these APIs. The next one is language, which allows your APIs to process natural language with pre-built scripts, evaluate sentiment, and learn how to recognize what users want. And then you have the speech category, where you can convert spoken audio into text or use voice for verification, and also use some speaker recognition software as well. You finally have the search APIs, which are Bing search APIs. You can add those to your apps and harness the billions of web pages and images and videos with a single API call. So this is in gist as to what cognitive services are available in Microsoft. So and today we will focus more about the language API. But before that, I just want to show you a brief demo of cognitive services. So
Nagalakshmi just had a good question. What are the applications that use sentiment analysis?
We can use sentiment analysis. For example, if we are trying to roll out a new functionality for a existing product, then we can have sentiment analysis saying we can do a survey and then get the feedback from the customers, and then get the sentiment as to whether the audience are seeking for it as a positive sentiment or a negative sentiment, and then decide whether to go with that functionality or not. Something like that. That's one example.
Okay, so basically automate the feedback loop that you get from your surveys.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one example. I hope I answered the question. Okay, so now continuing on to the cognitive services. So if you type the microsoft.com /cognitive, you can try the cognitive services for free for I think 7 days. So the 5 categories that I mentioned, they are here: vision, knowledge, language, speech, search, and there is anomaly detection that came out new. So if we go into vision, I'll just show you just one vision. See, you have on the side there are some demos. So under computer vision, if you look at the demo, so you can see here what it does is this is the image that it is using to give you with what confidence the objects that it has identified. So for example, here if we look at the tags, it is identifying that there is a train with a confidence of 99%, and there is a subway with a confidence of 83%, and there is the caption that it is giving is people waiting at a train station is the caption that it is giving with a 83% of confidence. So the computer vision API, it returns these the caption and the tags and these things like that. And also if you want to try, you can actually browse and then take your own data and your own some pictures. So maybe I'll just use a picture that I used for AI nights probably. Let's try to use this. Oh, that's not a picture. Okay, let's try to use this picture and see what happens. Okay, so it is drawing the recognition areas, and then it is saying, let's see what the caption is. Oh, there's nothing in the caption. There's a woman. It's identifying computer, woman, toy, photo. All these are the things that it's identifying. There is a group of people, I think. Yeah, group of people, room, riding. Those are the kind of things that it has identified. Yeah, so that's the kind of images. That's the kind of text that it returns, so that we can use the computer vision API in some of the functionalities that you are developing in some of the apps that you are developing. So if you go similarly, you have the you have video indexer, face recognition, where it actually identifies what emotion you have on your face, whether happy or sad. And you can do custom vision, the one that I was talking about. If you want to do food classifications, so you can upload images of apples, bananas, oranges, and you can tag them as apples, bananas, and oranges. And when you upload a test image, then and do a quick test, then it returns mostly it'll return the right one. If you pass a banana image of a banana, it will return the banana. So that is the custom vision that you can use for doing your own tagging and your own classification. This uses mainly the classification techniques. So similarly, you have speech. So here you have speech to text. So here if you go into, I'm not going to go into details because we lost some time. Here in the demos, you can actually see how the audio is being converted to text. And also here you can see speaker recognition, like the George Bush and Obama speaking, and then it recognizes. And here text to speech. So once you type the text, it converts to an audio. You can see that. So you can try these demos. Under language, this is where our main focus is for today. This is the text analysis. So here you have key phrase extraction, text sentiment analysis, and named entity recognition. Excuse me. So here, if we look at maybe I'll just go into this demo because we'll be using this later. So here it says, I had a wonderful trip to Seattle and enjoyed seeing the Space Needle. If you pass this sentence through this API, so it can detect the language. So it is detecting the language as English, as 100% confidence, and key phrases it has extracted from this sentence as Seattle, wonderful trip, and space needles. So these key phrases will be scored. So this is the sentiment of this sentence, and it's 98%. And linked entities, this is in preview mode. What it does is it identifies the keywords and then tries to link them with the Bing search APIs, all the other content that is there, that is available on the web. So that's how good it is. You can try this out by passing different sentences here. So you can try it out later. And similarly, you have after language, you have anomaly detection and search. I'm not going to go, I'll just go in there and I won't try the demo. So this has Bing web search, Bing visual search, Bing custom search, entity search, news search, video search, image search, and this is local business search is in preview mode, and also auto suggest. So this is a gist of cognitive services, a very short 5-minute tutorial. So I have never done this short tutorial. Okay, so let's go into the text analytics API. Yeah, after the demo. Okay, so in the language category of the Microsoft Cognitive Services, you have the text analytics API, which does for you the named entity recognition, key phrase extraction, and text sentiment analysis. There is also the Bing spell check and translator text as well, in the which belongs to the language APIs. Content moderator, you can moderate the content using these APIs to maybe block some of the content that is not appropriate for kids and stuff. So, and also there is language understanding APIs as well. So now today's focus is on text analytics APIs. So let's go into text analytics API. So here I just got a screenshot of this that we just saw. So this score, the sentiment score here is 98%. And here what it does is the sentiment analysis, the text analytics API returns a score between 0 and 1. And the scores that are closer to 1 indicate positive sentiment, and the scores that are closer to 0 indicate negative sentiment. And the sentiment score is generated using classification techniques. And key phrase extraction, when you pass a sentence, like how we have seen, it returns a list of strings that denoting the key talking points in the input text. And it uses the natural language processing toolkit. And the languages supported are English, German, Spanish, and Japanese text for key phrase extraction. And there is language detection. So like how we saw the English as 100%, it returns the language detected, returns a score between 0 and 1, 1 being 100%. A score of 1 indicates 100%, and a total of 120 languages are supported for language detection under the text analytics API. And as we saw, linked entities is in preview mode, so it detects all the named entities in the text, such as organizations, people, locations, and more. And it associates text to additional information on the web. So, like for example, we saw that Seattle has been linked to something on that is additional information on the web, and also the Space Needle. So it also uses some intelligence to know whether the times that you have used belongs to New York Times or Times Square. So now coming to the demo part. So what are the requirements for doing a Facebook sentiment analysis using cognitive services for Power BI? You need to have a Microsoft account and an Azure account and a Facebook account, obviously, because you are doing a Facebook sentiment analysis. And you need a cognitive services API account with the text analytics API. Remember, you have seen the try cognitive services for free. You can use that for 7 days. So maybe you can, after this session, you can try that out and use it for 7 days. Text analytics API access keys that are generated using during this sign up process. I'll show you all that. And then, of course, because you are doing the analysis in Power BI, so you need the Power BI desktop. So let's go into the demo of, let's go into the demo of Power BI. I had everything open earlier, so now I need to open again. So okay, before while that is opening, I'm going to do a sentiment analysis of all the posts that are there in the Power BI group on Microsoft on Facebook. So how do we do that? See here, there is a facebook.com and Microsoft BI. So this is what we are interested in. So I'm going to copy this one because that will be the sort of a username or page name for us to do the sentiment analysis on. So once you open, okay, so now what I do is I'll just click on get data, and then because we are doing Facebook sentiment analysis, I just use the Facebook connector at the moment. So that is available in Power BI. So just search in the get data box, just search for Facebook, and then you get this connecting to a third party warning. So you can just continue, and then it starts with me because you have a account with Facebook, but I don't want to analyze my Facebook page. So I'm going to just paste that copy and paste that Microsoft BI page, and then choose from here posts, because we want to analyze the posts and comments within those posts, and say okay. I'm going to sign into Facebook, connect. Okay, so this is what it comes up with. So you have a message column, created time column, ID column, object link. So what I want to do is I want to edit before I load. So I want to see, okay, so I'll just edit, and I want to see what is there in the it's taking time. Okay, I want to see what is there in the object link, because it says record. So if I look in here, it shows me what is there in the object link. I think it has comments and likes, I think, or connections. It has connections. That's what I'm interested in. Oh God, it's taking time. Okay, so this has created time, message, connections. This is what I'm interested in because that's where my comments and likes are there. So when I expand that, I just want connections. So I just remove all these and I just load the connections. So what it will give me is it will give me two columns. No, connections column. Oh God. We have 20 minutes, right? Okay. Oh. Okay, I think this is going to take time, looks like. I'm going to do this on one of my things that I've done earlier in the day. So okay, so what I'll do is I'll just quickly go into the queries and go through the steps that I have done, because we lost a bit of time. Okay, so what I've done here is in this, if you look at my source, what I've done is in the object link, I found this one. Okay, so I have filtered rows. Expanded object link. Yeah, here I have expanded the object link and got this connections. This was what I was trying to expand in the other file. And here we have comments and likes. So I want to expand that. So I have expanded that. And if you look at the expanded version, you will have comments and why is it taking so long? Okay, let's have a look at this one. Okay, so this the original file has come as connections. So once I expand, so there are comments and likes. So you can just go say okay, and then once the process is done, it will create two columns. So I have named that as MSBI in this file. So now once the basic file is ready, that will be our basic query, and then from there on, what I've done is I have right clicked on it and then did a reference and then created this. So my source will be MSBI, and then I have removed a couple of columns. Okay, so this will be my base query. And while that loads, my demo is okay. So that has expanded, and then I will remove this column because we don't need, we are not doing anything. Okay, so I will create on this maybe. Okay, so I just did a reference, and then this also. Okay, so this is my base query. What I'll do is I'll just disable load and then create a reference. Hopefully this will work. Okay. Oh God. Maybe I will show you in in the database here. Okay. Oh. Just give me a minute. I'll just have to put the code in. Okay, so here, okay, so the way I have created the posts is I have removed everything because I just want to keep the posts separate and the comments separate. So I have created the posts table and just kept the ID and message and then date. In this, the date format, I had to split because see here, this one has a T inside here. So I used a split column and then using a delimiter. Where's the split column? Using a delimiter, I just split the column based on T. So I used a custom delimiter T and then leftmost delimiter, and then I split the date into date and time. So that's how we have the date and time. So and made sure that this is identified as date. Once I have done that, I have the posts table ready, and then again I went to the base query. Again I went to the base query here and then clicked on reference and then created a comments table. That's now it's coming up. Okay, and then created a comments table. In that I just put the, I'll show you what I put the, yeah. In that I just have the post ID, comment ID, and comment message. I have created another table to create the comment sentiment. So before we go there, how are we going to use the how are we going to use the cognitive services APIs? So we need to go and create a cognitive services API account, or maybe go into Azure portal.azure.com. That's where I went, and then created a cognitive services API. So how do you create? You have to first create a resource group and then create a resource. So you can create a resource. So for creating a resource, just create a resource and then go text analytics API. So text analytics, choose that. When you choose that, it comes and then you can create. I'm not creating it because I have already created it. So I'll just go and access that. It will just take about 2 minutes to create. So in the in my resource group, I have all these resources. So my text analytics API is this one. So once I click that, you have to use two. So this will generate keys, and also there is a endpoint that you need to use. So for the keys, you can use it from here and then copy the key from here. Either of the one you can copy, and then create in your Power BI. You need to create a parameter, which I have already done. I'll show you. So to do that, go into parameter and say new parameter, and this is my parameter that I have created. So if I go manage parameter, so this is the name of the parameter I have given, API key, and then changed it to text, and then the copied key I have pasted it here, and that becomes my parameter. After that, what we need to do is we need to create a function to get the sentiment. So there is a JSON function that is available. I'll just open it here. So this is the code for getting the sentiment score. So I copy this one here and create a function, which I've already done, function sentiment. So if you go into the advanced editor, what it gets is, see here, you are giving this as the API, you are creating a API variable, and you are assigning the parameter to it, and then you are using this one as under the subscription key here for the headers. So you are passing the headers, and this is the endpoint. So how do you get the endpoint? So if you go into the overview of the text analytics, in the overview you get the endpoint. So this is your endpoints. You can just copy that and then change this in the code. So this one is your endpoint for sentiment. So this one you can change, and the rest will be the same because you are just scoring the sentiment. Once that is done, when you create the when you create the third table called the comment sentiment, here what I've done is, how do you create the comment sentiment table? So you just go here and then again reference it. I hope this one get done. Okay, so you go here and do a reference again, and then call it as comment sentiment. Comment sentiment. And here I don't want all these to stay. Okay, let's just expand comments first. So I will expand comments here. Okay, I will expand comments here. I think it's going to take a while. So meanwhile it's ready. Okay. So this is the comments sentiment. So here what I need is, I don't need the post message because this is the post message. So I will delete this one, and also I will delete the post time created, and so I will remove these, but I need the post ID because I want to link that to the post. So I'll keep that, and maybe we can put the comments time as well. This is what I need. So this is the comments message. So, and I can delete the others. Okay, deletion part we can. So I have deleted all these because we are not focusing on likes as well in this table. So I have deleted all this. What this function needs is an ID and a table with an ID and text. So I'll just go back to the function. So okay, so what this function needs is an ID and a text. So this ID and text we are passing to the function. So how we do that, just want to show at least in one. Okay, so okay, so this is how I have created. This is the post ID, and then we have to name it as text because that's what we are passing there. And then I filtered out all the nulls because we don't need the nulls and blanks and stuff. So if you can do that by unticking these. And then after this, what I did was I created a add column and then invoke the custom function. So this is what I have done. So when I invoke the custom function, I'll just connect as anonymous. It might take a while. So to add a function in the Power BI, so go into Power Query and then go to Advanced Editor, and then just delete everything and then copy that code, that JSON code, and then name it as sentiment. Now it's giving me an error because I did not create the parameter. So if I create the parameter, new parameter, that is the API key. So I'll just name it as API key, and then convert this into text. Is my keys. So I'm just copying this one and then pasting it here. Okay, so now the function is not getting any error. So now if I go into here and then remove, delete, remove, and this one needs to be text. So if I do this one, now the next step is to add a new column that will invoke the function. Invoke the function. So once you do that, you can choose the function fn sentiment, and then it automatically chooses the text. Then once you hit OK, then it is now what the process is. Because you are using that function with the API, that API will call the cognitive services, and then something wrong. We'll call the cognitive services API. So I won't waste time here. So I will just show you the score here. Oh, this is not working. So anyway, I'll show you the score here, maybe, hopefully. Okay. See, this is the score that it returned, and it returns as a text. So we need to convert that into a decimal number so that we can calculate the averages and stuff. So this is how the sentiment gets calculated, and then it returns. It goes to the cognitive services API onto the cloud, and then returns the sentiment. And from there onwards, we can use it in the analysis. Similarly, we have a keywords JSON code. The only difference is here, instead of sentiment, here we have sentiment here. Instead of that, we can use key phrases, and also in the last step, we give this function to text.combine function, and then return the key phrases that the cognitive services API identifies. So I have used this function in here, function keyword, and then it returned a set of keywords. So this is what I have used. And so once that is done, you get the key phrases. I hope I can show you that. What's happening? Okay. Okay, so if I click here, it's not showing the keyword at the moment. Earlier it showed. Okay, so so these are the keywords that it has generated. I'm using the custom visual word cloud here, and this is, I have created a average sentiment score. I think only 2 minutes left. So sorry, I couldn't do the whole demo because of the time lag. So coming back to the PowerPoint. So that was a very quick demo of how to do sentiment analysis, how to get the scores of sentiment scores and key phrases from the cognitive services API. So we just use the JSON text. I will include the JSON text in the resources so that you can use that, and then use the 7-day trial of cognitive services, and then test it out for yourself. What are the considerations? So mainly the pricing. I think if you sign up for a pay as you go subscription, you get 5,000 texts free per month. So you can try that out. And these are the resources that I have used for connecting to this is the second link, is the connecting to Facebook. How do you connect? And then there is a good documentation on Microsoft Power BI, Microsoft.com documents, which gives you how to do Facebook analytics as well. So those are the resources I have used, and I will include the text file that I have used for key extracting key phrases and sentiment. So recap: what is sentiment analysis? How does it work? Microsoft Cognitive Services, Text Analytics API, and then Facebook sentiment analysis. So any questions? I think we don't have much time, but yeah.
So far, there were no new questions. We handled them during the session. So it's oh, Ashraf has one. How does the Sentiment Cognitive Service handle emojis and sarcasm? Do you have any experience with that?
No, I haven't tried that out. Maybe we can, if you want to know that, maybe you can try the demo part of the sentiment analysis, which I have showed you in the text analysis, and then maybe you can try out. I haven't tried emojis and stuff. Yeah, maybe that could be my next step.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Nagalakshmi said, great and informative, Indira. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Same sentiment that I share. So thank you very much for being here today, for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity for Power BI Virtual Days.
You're very welcome. I hope to see you one of the next times again.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch via Twitter.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Thanks
Have
a lot.
Nice day.
Yeah, you too.